Namaskar Bondhura. Hi friends. Last time we learned about objective pronouns. This time we are going to learn about objects in general, mostly nouns. For pronouns in the objective case, the most common version of the endings are k for the singular ones and their k for the plural ones. There are other endings, but we will not need them as much in case when we are doing the objective case with nouns. So we will divide objects into two types, personal and impersonal. By personal, I mean when the recipient of the action of the verb is a person or a group of people. Uh, Now, this class of personal objects might include both pronouns and nouns. Um, and both of the both pronouns and nouns in personal objects, the endings will be k, ray, and their k. So k and their k are the more common variants, and ray is a lesser common variant, like a less common variant. For pronouns, we also saw there were some other endings, but those endings are not applicable in case of nouns. So pronouns we have already covered in the last lesson, so I'm not going to talk about them again. But in case of personal objects where the words are nouns, we will have the same endings as the pronouns. So k, ray, and their k. And impersonal when the recipient of the action of the verb is a thing or things, a group of things. So again we have pronouns and nouns in this class. So for pronouns we will use pointers like eta, ota, sheta for singular, egulo, ogulo, shegulo for plural. And for nouns there will be no change in the form of the nouns. We will cover all of these in details in this lesson itself. Let's start with personal objects. We will cover personal nouns here because we already covered personal objective pronouns in the last lesson in great detail, so I'm not going to go into them again. We have seen this sentence, Ami tomake bhalobashi, quite a few times. Here, Ami, the subject, and tomake, the object, both are pronouns. But we can replace both these pronouns with nouns. Like we can replace either one of them with a noun, either the subject or the object, or we can replace both of them with nouns. That is also possible. And the structure of the sentence will remain the same. আমি বাবাকে ভালোবাসি, আমি বাবাকে ভালোবাসি. Here we are replacing the object with a pronoun. We can also replace the subject with the pronoun or both of them. But one thing I want you to notice that here we are replacing um, the object with a common noun. So Baba is a class of a persons. Okay. Now we can replace both of them with nouns. Baba মাকে ভালোবাসে, Baba মাকে ভালোবাসে. Both of them common nouns. রাধা কৃষ্ণকে ভালোবাসে, রাধা কৃষ্ণকে ভালোবাসে. Both of them proper nouns. কৃষ্ণ রাধাকে চায়, কৃষ্ণ রাধাকে চায়. Again, both of them proper nouns. So you can see that we can use any combination of um, pronoun, noun, noun, pronoun, noun, noun, pronoun, pronoun, and we can have like common nouns or proper nouns. I mean, any combination of common noun, proper noun, and pronoun uh, between subject object can be used, and all of them will have the same structure. So in the subject, whether it's the pronoun or the noun, there will be no change, but in the object, as long as it is a person or a group of people, we will have the k to indicate that this is the object of the sentence. Also, we can have these kind of suffixes like o and e to indicate inclusion or exclusion. So when we say Radha Krishna ke bhalobashe, Radha loves Krishna, and we can say Krishna Radha ke bhalobashe, Krishna also loves Radha. So I love you and you also love me. Radha Krishna ke bhalobashe, Krishna Radha ke bhalobashe. So so we can have these small markers to subtly change the meaning of the sentence, but still the structure of the like the overall overarching structure of the sentences remain the same. What if the subject or the object is in plural? Again, there is division between personal and impersonal subject. Now, assuming that it's a personal subject, that is, it's a group of people, we can add ra to the singular word to make it into plural. So, bhakto means a devotee, bhaktora means devotees. You might remember that at the beginning of every episode, I say Namaskar Bondhura. So, Bondhu is friend, Bondhura is friends. Um, so, that's the plural subject. In case the object is singular, we will just add K to the singular object. So, it becomes Bhaktora Krishna ke bhalobashe. Bhaktora Krishna ke bhalobashe. In case we want to make the object plural, we will add der ke. So it will be Krishna bhaktoder ke chai. Krishna bhaktoder ke chai. Now adding O to the end of Krishna means Krishna also. So Krishna bhaktoder ke chai means Krishna also wants his devotees. So if we take those two sentences like one after the other, ভক্তরা কৃষ্ণকে ভালোবাসে, কৃষ্ণ ভক্তদেরকে চায়, that makes a coherent kind of flow that devotees love Krishna and Krishna also loves his devotees, so it makes a two-way flow of affection. Let's have a look at impersonal objects now. So where the object is a thing or a group of things. So again, here it can be a pronoun or a noun. Pronouns we are not going to cover in great details in this lesson because we have already covered majority of them in pointers. So just remember that if a impersonal pronoun is used as an object, then we can use eta, ota, sheta for singular and egulo, ogulo, shegulo for plural. So eta, ota, sheta, egulo, ogulo, shegulo, all of those we have covered in pointers, and those will be used as the impersonal object pronouns. Now let's have a look at impersonal object nouns. Impersonal objective nouns are probably the easiest to deal with because there are no changes to the form of the words. There are no markers to be added. We just pick up the words and plug them into the sentence as it is. The only thing we need to remember is the sentence has to follow the subject object verb structure. So the subject is towards the beginning, the verb is always at the end, and the object has to be in the middle. That's all you need to remember. Other than that, just pick up the words and plug it into the sentence. So gutlu dal bhat khai. Dal means pulses, bhat means rice. We just pick up those two words and put it into the sentence dal bhat khai. Gutlu dal bhat khai. You can also hear gutlu bhat dal khai. Uh, but dal bhat is generally like used as a unit, and dal bhat has another meaning in the sense that it means simple food you consume daily, like something which is very commonplace. uh, in contrast to that, we can also say oh pulao kalia chai. So pulao kalia is the word for a festive food or rich heavy food. So pulao is kind of fried rice, not exactly fried rice, but something like that. And kalia is a rich gravy, preparation usually of fish. So dal bhat means simple food. Pulao kalia means festive or rich food. So gutlu dal bhat khai, o pulao kalia chai. He eats simple food, but he wants rich food. So in both cases, you can see that the there is no change to the object portion of the sentence. So we just pick up the words and plug it into the sentence directly as it is. Mira gan gai. Mira gan gai. Pretty simple sentence, nothing really much to explain. Only one thing I want you to note is the object gan. And now, the object of a sentence may not be a physical, tangible object at all times. So, it might be something intangible which can be perceived through your other senses. Not always the sense of touch, it can be perceived through your other senses, or it can be a thought also, like something which is a product of the mind that also can be an object in the sentence. So, as and when we learn more and more verbs, we will also see that objects can also take on a wide variety of forms. সে ভগবানকে চায়. সে ভগবানকে চায়. She wants God. Now, God, the word for God in Bengali is Bhagavan. So, if I did a literal translation of the English sentence, she wants God, it should have been She Bhagavan Chai. Uh, but here we are treating this as a personal noun, and let me try to explain why it is so. Not only for God, but also for anything else which we personify. If we are personifying a thing and imbuing it with personal qualities, so we are treating it as a person, then we will accord the same treatment to that word as we do to a personal pronoun or a personal noun. So hence we are adding k to the word bhagavan here. So we are treating God as a person, and we are just giving out the treatment to that word which we give to personal nouns and personal pronouns. Hence, she Bhagavan ke chai. Also, I think this is the first time we are using she in a sentence. So before this, for the third person singular pronoun, we have been always using o. So this is the first time we are using she. So why in this case it's she and not o? Um, so O is generally used for people who are close to you, who you can see or you meet daily. And She is used for people whom you generally don't meet or whom you cannot see. So when I was writing these sentences, I took the example of the Rajput princess Meera, who was the Krishna devotee. So, for people who don't know, Meera was like she was born sometime in 1498, 1500, around that time. So it's obvious that I haven't met her and will never meet her. So hence I will not use the pronoun O for referring to the person whom I have never met or I will never meet, or like generally we do not use O for people we don't interact with. Uh, so in this case, because Meera is a historical figure, uh, hence we are referring to Meera with the pronoun she. Now that we have learned both personal and impersonal object, let's see how we are going to treat them in case we have both types in a single sentence. পুতুল দাদাকে খাবার দেয়. পুতুল দাদাকে খাবার দেয়. Who is the subject of the sentence? Putul. What is the verb? দেয় or give. Uh, what does she give? Food. Khabar. This is a thing, hence we are not making any changes to the form of this word. We will just plug in khabar directly into the sentence as it is. To whom does she give food? Her elder brother. The word for elder brother is dada. Now, since this is a person, we will add k to dada to make it into the objective form. So, Putul dada ke khabar day. Notice that the subject is to at the beginning, the verb is at the end, and both the objective verbs are in the middle. Now, note that the personal object comes before the impersonal object. Hence, dada ke comes before khabar, and this word order is followed in all sentences. So let's have a look at another one to make this clear. তুমি পুচকিদেরকে বাক্সগুলো দাও। তুমি পুচকিদেরকে বাক্সগুলো দাও। Who is the subject? You, তুমি, at the beginning of the sentence. What is the verb? Give, thou, at the end of the sentence. The other two words in the middle of the sentence, of course, form the objects. Uh, let's try to decipher this. Okay. So, what do you give the boxes? The word for box in Bengali is baksho. We make it plural by adding gulo. So when we did pointers for plural things, we did egulo, ogulo, shegulo. So we added gulo to that. So similarly, for inanimate things, we add gulo. So baksho becomes baksho gulo. Uh, I think there might be some confusion, so let me just repeat it here. So bondhura, I say bondhura, namaskar bondhura. So we add ra to that. So why are we adding ra to some word and gulo to some other words? So bondhura, bhaktora, if you notice, those all refer to persons. So in case those are personal nouns, we will add ra to make it plural. In case those are impersonal nouns or things, inanimate objects, so we add gulo to that to make it plural. Okay. Now let me come to the word puchki derke. Now this is a bit complicated, but I will try to make it as clear as possible. Puchki is not a common noun. It doesn't refer to a class of people. So puchki is a proper noun. It refers to one person. Why are we adding the suffix derke, which is used for plural nouns, right? Plural nouns, plural pronouns. Derke is added to plural nouns, plural pronouns. So why are we adding that to the name of a person? It's after all one person. So why are we adding a plural marker to that? The reason is when we say puchki derke, we mean puchki and group. So we imply all the people who are accompanying that person. Uh, so I may not know, let's say Puchki has come to this place with five of her friends. So I may not know the name of all those people. So I will just refer to them as a group with Puchki as the central figure for that. So when I say Puchki Derke, I means the group Puchki and her group. So that is the implication. That is the meaning of Puchki Derke. I'm not sure if this is used in other languages as well, but this is very common in Bengali. Um, so it can also be used for common nouns as well. Let's say if I say dada derke, dada derke means elder brother and his friends, or elder brother and his colleagues, or elder brother and his uh, the group of people accompanying him. So you can add derke to the name of a person or the or a singular word, and it will imply that it's referring to a group of people who has accompanied that person. Okay, I hope I made this clear, but in case there is some confusion, please do write in the comments. Let's recap what we have learned about objects till now. So, for personal pronouns and personal nouns, the singular words end with K and Ray. K is the more commonly used version. Ray is generally reserved for poems and songs, so it's much lesser used. The plural ones end in their K. And yeah, for personal pronouns, singular personal pronouns, there is another form for you and I, tomai and amai, which is not there for personal nouns. Um, in case we are talking about an impersonal object, but we are imbuing it with personal qualities, that is, we are personifying the impersonal objects, then also we will treat them like personal nouns and personal pronouns. For impersonal pronouns, we just use pointers. For singular words, eta, ota, sheta. For plural words, egulo, ogulo, shegulo, depending on their location. Uh, Impersonal nouns is the easiest. There is no change in their form. We just plug those words into the sentence as it is. Today's lesson name, More Bhabonare Ki Haway Matalo, is a Rabindra Sangit. That is, it's a song written by Rabindranath Thakur. Now notice the word bhabonare. Bhabona means thought. Now when we make it into Bhabonare, it's the poetic uh, suffix we were talking about earlier. For singular personal nouns, we add re to the word, right? So Bhabona to Bhabonare signifies that this is it's a personal, a personified treatment of an impersonal noun, and this is the poetic suffix. So in common, like colloquial Bengali, we will say bhabona ke, uh, though that would like sound really horrible because bhabona is a impersonal noun, so we won't add k to that. But since this is a song and you are allowed to do all kinds of artistic liberties in a song, so we are just personifying this and adding re to bhabona. So the song goes like this. মোর ভাবনারে কি হাওয়ায় মাতালো দোলে মন দোলে অকারণ হরষে মোর ভাবনারে কি হাওয়ায় মাতালো দোলে মন দোলে অকারণ হরষে. So for today's homework, let's try translating these two group of sentences. First one, Gudlu wants Rosogollas, give some to him. Uh, Part 2, uh, give some Rosogollas to Gudlu. So you will see both sentences, or rather both group of sentences talk about the same thing, but the second one is more compact a sentence as the first one. This is the word list for today for your reference. Come back and have a look whenever you need to. That's it for today. Thank you for listening in. সবাই ভালো থেকো, আবার দেখা হবে. Everyone stay well. We will meet again soon.